Good day, everyone. So, the next topic is about cables and arches. So, cables and arches are type of structural elements. So, for this lecture video, we will tackle only about cables, and the next video will be all about arches. Okay, so as you can see here, cables. For this lecture video, at the end of this lecture video, you will be able to understand the characteristic of a cable, the assumptions of their analysis, and how to analyze cables subjected to concentrated loadings. Okay, so we have here a definition for cables. So cables are often used in engineering structure to support and or to transmit loads from one member to another. One example here for the use of cables are the suspension bridges, where your cables there become the main load carrying member of your structure. Siya yung mismong nagbubuhat sa mga load natin. Because the load sa mga suspension bridge natin is very large compared to the cable. So in such system, we can now neglect the weight of the cable. But there are situations where okay the weight of cable itself is very important. Like dun sa mga transmission line natin. Okay, where you can see in if I don't know if you see uh, already in real situation yung mga cable natin sa mga transmission lines. Kaya nagsasag sila although wala silang binubuhat na weight because of the weight itself, of the self-weight of that cable. So mga ganon sitwasyon, we will consider the weight of the cables. Okay, for this particular lecture video, we will neglect the weight of the cable. Okay, and pag-uusapan natin two types lang of analysis for cables. So first we have cables subjected to concentrated loads, and the second is cables subjected to uniformly distributed load. All right. So let's proceed to the first one, cables subjected to concentrated load. Okay, for us to analyze, okay, the cables subjected to concentrated and uniformly distributed load, we have two assumptions. Number one assumptions is that the cable class. The first one is the cable is flexible and inextendable. Okay, so let me write that. Number one assumption for us to uh, relate the length, the slope, and the forces of our cable in analysis. So we have here the assumptions. Number one is perfectly flexible. So this is the assumptions. Right. Number two is inextensible. Okay, inextensible. So meaning if number one, the cable is perfectly flexible, so uh, it will not cause the cable to uh, what do you call that? Uh, resist. Okay, it will not cause the cable to resist shearing and bending forces. Okay, kung flexible yan, walang magiging shear, walang magiging moment, okay, sa cable natin. So we expect that the cable only carries axial load. Okay, and also if we have a curved cable like this, because it is perfectly flexible, we will pag kinat natin yan, yung cable natin, no? We're going to cut that. So, we will not expect that mayroong bending moment yan or shearing. So, ang expect lang natin that the forces na sa cutting plane natin is, okay, tangent to that point. Okay, tangent sa point na to. Anywhere. Continue natin. So, ito yung point kung saan natin kakat. And then, yung force is tangent to that point. Okay, yan yung magiging ating internal forces sa cable natin. Okay? Potential force sa mismong cable natin. So, that is perfectly flexible. Pag sinabing inextensible, alright, if we assume na that is inextensible, hindi ma-extend. Alin ang hindi ma-extend? Yung length ng cable natin. Okay, of course, in real life, if we're going to pull a rope, so we expect that it will expand or it will extend. But here, okay, we assume na before and after loading, hindi magbabago yung length ng cable po natin. Alright? So, yan yung assumption natin. Flexible and inextensible. Alright? So, as you can see here, an example of a cable that is subjected to concentrated loadings. So, as you can see here, we have here at point A and B are the supports, and C and D where your external loads are applied. Okay? So, in every point, as you can see, in every point, we have how many unknowns? Okay, for point A, for point C, so we have the forces CD, and then, of course, the forces AC, and, of course, the angles, the thetas here. Okay, theta 1, and we have theta 2. Right? So, every point we have here 4 unknowns. Okay? And, of course, sometimes, yung mga angle natin are given. Kung hindi man angle, yung mga slope po natin are given. Okay? Every point, we can use how many equations? So, we can use only 2 equations. That is summation forces along x and along y. That's equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Alright? So, that's how usually yung magiging analysis po natin. Per joint. And of course, pag hindi kaya ng per joint class, okay, we consider as a whole. Okay? Whole cable system yung pag-analyze natin. Okay? So, alright. So, let's have an example. Number 1. So, determine the tension in cables and what is the dimension H. Alright. So, how many unknowns ang isosolve po natin? Kibilang. So, we have yung mga tension sa cable natin, tensile forces. We have 1, 2, 3, and then pin 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so that is 4 for reaction, 4 sa reaction, 3 sa cable tension natin. So, 7 plus yung H, we have 8. So, 8 unknowns, how many equation we can use? So, every joint we have 2 equations. So, there are 4 joints. So, that is 4 equation times 2, 8 equations. So, we have 8 equation for 8 unknowns. Alright? Okay, 8 equation, 8 unknowns. So, we can solve Tama ba? Okay, so we can solve this example number 1. Okay, but siyempre, hindi natin papaabutin sa ganong sitwasyon na merong 4 equation for unknowns. Okay, so may mga calculus na hindi kaya yung 4 equation for unknowns. Okay, for this type of example, ang una mong gagawin, class, type of problem is look for a joint muna or point where there is only 2 unknowns. So sa point A we have the reaction. So we have 2 already here. And of course, sa point A, meron din tayong tensile force doon from AB. Okay, so we have 3. Ibig sabihin nun, hindi po natin kayang i-consider for now yung joint A o point A kasi nga 3 unknown. How about sa B? Sa B, as you can see here, sa tensile forces, we have only AB and AC. But the problem here are there are no angles or hindi complete yung dimension ng ating mga cable. Okay? Yung kanyang slope or yung kanyang angle. As you can see here, yung angle dito is lacking. Madali lang sana kung merong H, pero walang H. So, ibig sabihin, missing yan. And then dito naman, as you can see, meron siyang 2 meters, kaso walang difference height ng B to C. So, unknown, hindi pa rin pwede. Okay? So, how about this one? Sa joint C. Sa joint C, as you can see here, sa joint C, okay, sa joint CD natin, as a force CD, as you can see, ang kanyang slope is kompleto. Tama? Okay, may angle siya dito. Kasi merong 2, may 1.5. Okay, ang ilang unknown din na meron. So, we have the tension at cable CD and the tension at cable BC and also the angle of the force, okay, of tension BC. So, tatlo. So, hindi pa rin po pwede. Pag ganito yung sitwasyon na hindi pwede ang per joint o per point, we will consider as a whole. Okay, paano i-consider as a whole? Una mong gagawin, class, is doon ka sa meron ng, okay, ma-focus ka doon sa meron ng angle. Like this. Yung CD, yung force CD. Okay? Force CD. If you're going to get, no? Ito. Cut natin dito. Okay, cut natin, we will have here the force CD. Tama ba? Okay? So, neglect to. I-neglect nyo yung support dito. Alright? So, CD. Pansin natin. Ito na lang, red. Yan. So, this is the CD. Okay? Cable tensile force for segment CD. Okay? Then, siyempre, that is away from the joint C kasi nga tension yan. Okay? So, always assume tension dito kasi tensile force yan kasi cable po yan. Okay? Always remember, pag cable, tensile force ang kinikiri. Pag nag-negative na yan, mali ka na dyan. Okay? Hindi na cable yan. Okay? So, that is CD, tensile force. Ngayon, meron tayong slope dito. Tama? Ang slope niya is 1.5 yung kanyang run and 2 yung kanyang rise. Okay? Then, we will get the slope later on or the hypotenuse later on. Okay? So, ito, lagay natin yung mga components. So, we have here components CDY and of course CDX. Okay? So, if we go going to consider the left segment, okay, itong segment na to, going to cut dyan. Dito tayo. Okay, sa left na to. So, we can solve now the member force CD. Paano? Anong equation? Okay, siyempre, that is summation moment at point A. That is equal to 0. Positive clockwise. Okay, so ano mga external forces muna natin? So that is, what are the external forces? 3 and then 8. Okay, so muna tayo sa 3. So 3 times yung moment arm, that is 2. Ito yung 3. Moment arm niya, 2 meters from A. Positive. And then plus 8 times 8 kilonewton. And then moment arm is, that is 2 plus 2, 4 meters from point A. And then, wala na. Ano? Wala na tayong ibang external forces. Doon na tayo sa force CD. So, we have here the CD. Kaya kinomponents natin kanina, as you can see. Kasi nga, para mas madaling kunin yung kanilang moment. Kung CD yan, kukunin mo pa yung moment arm that is perpendicular to this force. So, mahirap gawin yon. Okay, so ginagawa natin, siyempre, component natin. Okay, so sa joint C, yung ating reference point. Okay, from CDY. Okay, that is negative. Okay, CDY times 2. 4. Sorry, 4. Wait lang. Palitan natin to. It is CD y component times 4. And then, minus ulit, no? Minus CDX. Ilan yung kanyang moment arm? So that is, ito yung CDX. That is 4 meters. Okay, and then that is equal to, wala na, no? Is equal to 0. Okay? Okay, so let's expand yung ating equation. So, sa CDY muna, gawin natin in terms of CD. So, CDY, in terms of CD, is equal to CD, that is X all over hypotenuse. So, adjacent natin is 1.5 all over hypotenuse. So, ano yung hypotenuse ng slope natin? That is the square root of 1.5 square times 2 square. So, that is 2.5. Tama? So, 2.5. And then for CDY, so, baliktad ata ako. CDY is 2 to. Baliktad. So, CDX is CD, quantity X. X natin is 1.5. Right? Tama na ba? CDY is 2, okay? All over 2.5. CDX is CD times 1.5 all over 2.5. So, expand natin. Then, calculate na natin itong mga nandito rin. So, 3 times 2 plus 8 times 4. Ilan yun? So, 3 times 2 plus 8 times 4. That is 38. Okay, minus CDY. Ang CDY natin is 2 times 2.5 CD times 4 minus 1.5 all over 2.5 CD times 4 is equal to 0. Okay, so i-add natin yung the same term, yung CD. So, i-add po natin yan, negative 2 over 2.5 times 4 minus 1.5 over 2.5 times 4. So that is negative 5.6. So we have 38 minus 5.6 CD. Right? It's equal to 0. Okay, so ang CD natin will be, dapat positive yan ha, class. So 38 divided by 5.6. We have 6.79. Okay? Kilo nyo ito. Okay, alright. So, check before we proceed to the next. Subukan nyo muna. Okay, kung nasubukan na. Okay, so 6.79 dapat po ang nakuha natin dyan. Tuloy ho natin. So, next pa is isunod-sunod na to, no? Pag nakuha mo na dito sa side na to, yung kanyang kasama. Okay? Yung cable segment na katabi lang nung cable na nakuha natin, yung 6.74, 6.79 ng CD, yun po yung ine-next natin. Okay, so BC na tayo. Okay, so considering joint or point, consider point C. Okay, so ang FBT ng point C, ito yung point C. Of course, we have here your BC. Then, nandito yung ating CD, which is 6.79. Okay? And of course, nandito yung ating external force na 8 kN. So, ilan yung unknown po natin dito? Yung unknown po natin dito will be the BC and yung angle or yung theta 1 po natin. Okay? So, equation number 1. So, equation number 1 ay magagaling po sa summation forces along x is equal to 0, positive going to the right direction. So, we have CD, yung kanyang moment, yung kanyang, what you call that, CDX. Okay, CDX to. So, yung kanyang components along x is CD, 1.5 all over 2.5. Ba? Positive yan. And then, we have negative BC cosine theta 1. Okay? Is equal to 0. Expand pa natin. So, expand po natin. We have, ang CD natin is 6.79 times 1.5 all over 2.5. Meron tayong 4.074, lagay natin lahat, minus BC cosine theta 1 is equal to 0. Okay? So, ang BC natin ngayon, ilagay natin dito. So, ang BC is equal to 4.074 divided by cosine theta 1. Right? So, next po tayo, gamitin naman natin yung summation forces along y is equal to 0, positive upward. Okay, pasensya na kayo, no, class? Ilagay natin sa mga blank spaces para makita pa natin yung figure. Okay? So, basta yung pagkasunod-sunod, kita nyo naman dito. Okay? Pataas na tayo. Nandito tayo sa taas, class, no? Huwag lang kayo malilito. So, next is ito na tayo. So, we have BC sine theta 1. Positive yan. And then, we have positive CD y. That is 2 all over 2.5. Then, we have negative 8 is equal to 0. Okay. So, ganun ang gawin ulit natin, no? Ah, kunin natin yung value ng BC in terms of sine theta 1. Okay, so compute muna natin to. CD times 2 all over 2.5 minus 8. So, ang CD po natin is 6.79 times 2 all over 2.5 minus 8. So, ang lalabas dito is negative 2.568. So, lilipat natin sa kabila. Negative 2.568 transpose on the right side will become positive 2.568. And then BC lang po ang gusto natin. So BC all over is equal to 2.568 all over sine theta 1. Okay? So solving equation 1, equation 2, BC is equal to BC. So that is 4.074 all over cosine theta 1 is equal to 2.568 all over sine theta 1. Okay? So, pwede nang gawin is sine theta all over cosine theta is equal to 2.568 all over 4.074. Siyempre, magiging tan theta 1 yan. Tama? Tan theta 1 is equal to, divide po natin, 2.568 divided by 4.074. That is 0.63034. Okay, 5 decimal po. Okay, mas maganda kung na-restore nyo. Pero dito okay na yan. 5 decimal. So we have arctan ng answer natin. Pwede naman yung arctan answer sa calculator. So we have 32. Ang theta 1 ho natin will be 32.22 degrees. Okay? Getting the theta 1, we can now solve for BC. So ang BC natin, either of the two equation we have here. Ito ba? Or ito. Pwede na yan. Okay, so that is 4 gamitin natin yung nauna, 4.074 divided by cosine theta 1, that is 32.22 is equal to 4.074 divided by cosine 32.22, 4.82 kilonewton. Right, so parehas pa tayo nakuha, 4.82 kilonewton. I hope so, no? Alright. So, meron tayong CD, meron na tayong BC. So, next na tayo. So, create tayo ng another page kasi mukhang hindi na kaya. Okay, so dito na tayo. Point B na tayo. Or point, tama, point B. So, consider point B. So, ito yung point B natin. Balik tayo doon. So, point B, 3 kilonewton yung external load. And then, BC and AB. Okay, so we have here your AB. We have here your 3 kilonewton. And BC. So, andito yung BC natin. Which is, ilan yung value? 4.82. So, 4.82. Of course, meron tayong theta 1 dito. Which is 32.22 degrees. And, of course, sa AB, wala tayong angle dito but given o yung nandun sa problem natin is H, yung kanyang rise, unknown, and then meron tayong 2 na rad. Okay? So let's say, let's make this theta 2. Okay, the same pa rin ang gagawin natin. Kung anong ginawa sa point C, ganun din sa point B. Okay, so summation forces along X is equal to 0, positive going to the right. So we have BC cosine theta 1, then minus AB cosine theta 2 is equal to 0. So we can now compute the value of BC cosine theta 1. This is 4.82 cosine 32.22. So ang lalabas sa sagot is 4.078 or 0.077 minus AB cosine theta 2 is equal to 0. So AB is equal to 4.078 divided by cosine theta 2. Okay, the same just sa ating next equation, summation forces along y is equal to 0, positive upward. So we have AB sine theta 2 minus BC sine theta 1 and then minus 3 kilonewtons equal to 0. So pwede natin i-compute itong BC sine theta 1, negative BC sine theta 1 minus 3. So negative BC, ang BC po natin is 4.82 sine 32.22. Check ko muna kung tama yung 32.32. Yes. Okay. To make sure lang. Gamit ako ng value. Hindi pala tama, no? 4.82 sine 32.32. Negative yon. Minus 3. Minus 3. So we have and then we transpose, no? Negative 5.569. Transpose po natin sa right. So we'll have AB is equal to positive 5.57. Okay? Divided by sine theta 2. Okay? So equating the equation 1 to equation 2, AB is equal to AB. So we'll have 4.078 all over cosine theta 2 is equal to 5.57 divided by sine theta. The same pa rin gagawin natin. Tangent theta 2 is equal to 5.57 divided by 4.078. Okay? So, arctan lang ho natin yun. Arctan 5.57 divided by 4.078. So, we'll have 53. So, theta 2 is equal to 53.79 degrees. Okay, using this theta 2, we can now solve for AB. So, AB, you can either use the first and the second equation. So, gamitin natin yung second naman. 5.57 all over sine theta 2, which is 53.79. So, that is 5.57 divided by sine 53.79. 6.9. 6.9 kilonewton ang ating AB. Okay, so after solving the tensions at every segment of the cable, AB, BC, and CD. So next na pinapahanap po sa problem natin is yung H. So that is tangent, tangent theta 1 or theta 2 is equal to H all over 2. Tama, doon sa figure po natin. Ito po yung ating triangle. Ito yung ating theta 2. This is your 2 meters. And ito po yung H natin. Okay? So, h po natin is equal to 2 tangent theta theta 2. Okay? So, ang h po natin will have a value of 2 tangent 53.79 degrees. So, 2 times tan 53.79. So, that is, ang h po natin is 2.73165 or approximately 2.73 meters. Approximately po. Alright? Okay, so yan po yung example number 1 natin. So let me write the answer. If you try to solve it again, so ito yung basis. So we have, nauna yung CD, and then we have BC, and we have AB. So lagay ko na dito, yung AB natin is 6.9. Yung ating BC is 4.82. Yung ating yung CD is, what is CD again, class? 6.79. Okay, 6.17. And our H is 2.73. These are the answers.